In this video, we revisit horror movie locations and see what they look like now. The Exorcist Steps, 3600 Prospect Street Northwest, Georgetown, Washington, D.C. The 75 stone steps where Father Karras fell to his death in 1973. The steep staircase between Prospect Street and M Street becoming the most famous set of steps in film history. The steps still open to the public in Georgetown, now an official D.C. landmark, a plaque installed at the top, joggers running them daily without a priest tumbling past. The Amityville Horror House, 108 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. The Dutch Colonial, where Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered 6 family members in 1974. The Lutz family fleeing 28 days later, claiming paranormal terror, the book and films, making it the most famous haunted house in America. The address changed from 112, the quarter moon windows replaced with rectangular ones. Subsequent owners reporting nothing unusual, the haunting widely discredited. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre House, Kingsland, Texas. The Victorian farmhouse where Leatherface and his family terrorized Sally Hardesty in 1974 was originally located near Round Rock, Texas, dismantled and relocated to Kingsland on the banks of the Washino River. Now operating as a restaurant called the Grand Central Cafe, the house where Leatherface served human barbecue now serving actual barbecue to customers who eat, where Sally screamed. The Overlook Hotel, Timberline Lodge, Mount Hood, Oregon, and the Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. Stanley Kubrick using the exterior of Timberline Lodge for the establishing shots of the Overlook in 1980, the interiors built at Elstree Studios in England, Stephen King's original inspiration being the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, where he stayed in room 217. Timberline still operating as a ski lodge, the Stanley charging premium rates for haunted rooms, room 237 renumbered from a different room to match Kubrick's film. Elm Street House, 1428 Elm Street, Los Angeles, California. The Dutch Colonial Revival House in the Spalding Square neighborhood of Hollywood, serving as Nancy Thompson's home in A Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984. Freddy Krueger invading the dreams of Elm Street's teenagers. The house sold in 2021 for $3.2 million. A private residence in a neighborhood where the median home price has nothing to do with finger knives. Camp Crystal Lake, Camp No Bay Bosco, Hardwick, New Jersey. The Boy Scout camp in the Appalachian Ridge and Valley region, serving as Crystal Lake in Friday the 13th in 1980. The lake, the cabins, and the archery range providing the backdrop for Jason Voorhees' mother's killing spree. Still an active Boy Scout camp, offering limited Friday the 13th fan tours during off-season weekends. The lake where Kevin Bacon took an arrow through the neck, still a lake where children learn to swim. The Psycho House, Universal Studios. Backlot, Hollywood, California. The Bates Motel and the Victorian House on the Hill, built on the Universal backlot for Alfred Hitchcock in 1960. Norman Bates watching Marion Crane from the window. The house still standing on the backlot as part of the Universal Studios tour, repainted and maintained for over 60 years. The most visited horror set in the world. Bodega Bay, Bodega, and Bodega Bay, California. Hitchcock filming The Birds across the Sonoma County coastal towns in 1963. The Potter Schoolhouse and St. Teresa of Avila Church in Bodega, and various locations in Bodega Bay providing the backdrop for the avian apocalypse. The schoolhouse now a private residence, the church still standing, the town embracing its birds' heritage with murals and themed merchandise. The Conjuring House, 1677 Round Top Road, Harrisville, Rhode Island. The 18th century farmhouse where the Perron family experienced the events depicted in the 2013 James Wan film, purchased by paranormal investigators Corey and Jennifer Hainzen in 2019 for $439,000. Now offering overnight paranormal investigation experiences. The house that launched a billion-dollar franchise charging guests to find the ghosts Hollywood made famous. Haddonfield, South Pasadena, California. John Carpenter filming Halloween across multiple South Pasadena locations in 1978. The Myers House at 1000 Mission Street. Laurie Strode's house, and the neighborhood streets, providing the suburban backdrop for Michael Myers' Halloween night rampage. The Myers house relocated to escape demolition and now sits on Meridian Avenue, South Pasadena, remaining a quiet residential community that looks exactly like the kind of neighborhood where nothing bad ever happens. The Blair Witch Forest, Seneca Creek State Park, and Patapsco Valley, Maryland. Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez filming the found footage phenomenon in the woods of Montgomery County, Maryland in 1997. The $60,000 production, grossing $248 million. The famous final scene at the abandoned Griggs house, filmed in Patapsco Valley State Park near Granite. The Griggs house demolished by the state in the early 2000s. The Seneca Creek Woods public parkland. Stick figures and cairns left by fans cleaned up by rangers. The Chainsaw Massacre gas station, Bastrop, Texas. The Last Chance gas station where the hitchhiker encounter occurred in the 1974 original, the building sitting abandoned on a rural Texas road for decades before being purchased and restored. Now operating as a horror-themed barbecue restaurant and merchandise store called The Gas Station, embracing its identity with memorabilia and photo opportunities. Monroeville Mall, Monroeville, Pennsylvania. George Romero filming Dawn of the Dead inside the suburban Pittsburgh shopping mall in 1978. The zombies shambling through JCPenney and past the ice skating rink in what became the definitive horror satire of consumer culture. The mall still operating, though significantly renovated, the ice rink removed, the specific stores from the film replaced by different tenants, annual zombie walks through the corridors honoring the film. Evans City Cemetery, Evans City, Pennsylvania. George Romero filming the opening sequence of Night of the Living Dead at the small cemetery north of Pittsburgh in 1968. Barbara and Johnny visiting their father's grave before the first zombie appeared. The cemetery still operating, the chapel from the film's siege scenes demolished. A historical marker acknowledging the film's significance installed at the entrance. The Omen Church, All Saints Church, Fulham, London. The church where the priest was impaled by a lightning rod in The Omen in 1976. The Gothic architecture providing the backdrop for one of the most elaborate death scenes in horror history. The church still an active parish in Fulham. Sunday services held in the building, where Gregory Peck discovered his son was the Antichrist. Brody's House, East Harbor, Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Steven Spielberg filming Jaws across Martha's Vineyard in 1975. The beaches, harbors, and residential streets of the island becoming the fictional Amity Island. The island still a summer resort destination, the specific beach locations recognizable to fans. The production having disrupted island life for months during filming. The Freeling House, 4267 Roxbury Street, Simi Valley, California. The Freeling family's suburban home in Poltergeist in 1982. The swimming pool skeleton scene, and the clown attack filmed at the Simi Valley location. The house still a private residence in a Simi Valley cul-de-sac. The swimming pool presumably no longer containing the corpses. The Sawyer House, Round Rock, Texas. The original location of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre farmhouse before it was moved to Kingsland, the property near Round Rock, where the 1974 film was actually shot sitting empty for years. The original foundation visible, the nearby Quick Hill area developed into suburban housing. Families living yards from where Leatherface's front door used to stand. The Silence of the Lambs, locations, soldiers and sailors, Memorial Hall, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jonathan Demme filming Hannibal Lecter's glass cell scenes, inside Soldiers and Sailors. Memorial Hall in Pittsburgh in 1990. The exterior of the asylum filmed at the Western Center in Canonsburg. Both locations providing the menacing backdrop for Anthony Hopkins' most famous performance. The Western Center since demolished. Soldiers and Sailors still operating as a memorial and event venue. Scream Houses, Tamales, California. The opening kill farmhouse where Drew Barrymore answered the phone at 261 Glendale Avenue in 1996, and the Stu Macher Party House at 3871 Tamales Petaluma Road, where the bloody third act showdown took place, both located in rural Sonoma County. The party house now available as an Airbnb and event rental, the opening kill house still private, Woodsboro existing only in the film, Suspiria Dance Academy, various locations, Munich, Germany, and Rome, Italy. Dario Argento filming the 1977 Technicolor Nightmare across multiple European locations, the ornate interiors and Goblin score creating the most visually stunning horror film ever made. The specific Munich and Rome locations used for exteriors now, commercial and residential properties. Rosemary's Baby apartment, the Dakota, 1 West 72nd Street, Manhattan, New York. Roman Polanski using the Dakota's Gothic exterior for the Bramford apartment building in 1968. Mia Farrow carrying the Devil's Baby through the same archway where John Lennon would be shot 12 years later. The Dakota still a private co-op. The building refusing plaques for both Rosemary and Lennon. It follows locations, various Detroit, Michigan. David Robert Mitchell filming the 2014 art horror across the decaying neighborhoods and abandoned pools of Detroit, the city's urban blight, providing a backdrop more unsettling than any haunted house. The specific Detroit neighborhoods largely unchanged because the decay the film used as set dressing is the city's ongoing reality. Hereditary House, Eastwood neighborhood, Salt Lake City, Utah. Ari Aster filming the family home at a private residence near the mouth of Parley's Canyon in Salt Lake City in 2017. The treehouse a set built for the film. Toni Collette's performance called the greatest in horror history by many critics. The house private and unmarked in a Salt Lake City neighborhood. The miniature models destroyed after filming. Get Out Estate, Fairhope, Alabama. Jordan Peele filming the Armitage family estate at a private property outside Mobile in 2016. The sunken place, the deer, and the teacup created in a setting that looked like old money liberal America because it was old money Southern architecture. The property a private residence, the most socially important horror film of the 21st century filmed in Alabama. Pet Sematary locations, various Maine and Georgia. Stephen King setting the novel in Maine, the 1989 film shooting partly in Maine, the 2019 remake filming entirely in Montreal, the original locations in Hancock and Ellsworth, Maine recognizable to fans, the actual inspiration being the pet cemetery near King's former Orrington home where his daughter's cat was buried. Candyman's Cabrini Green, Chicago, Illinois. Bernard Rose filming in the actual Cabrini Green housing project in 1992. The towers and row houses providing the real-world setting for Tony Todd's hook-handed ghost. The Cabrini Green towers demolished between 1995 and 2011. The site redeveloped into mixed-income housing. The 2021 sequel addressing the gentrification directly. The projects that inspired the horror erased and replaced. The Rings Well, various locations, Washington State and California. Gore Verbinski filming Samara's emergence from the television across Washington State and Los Angeles locations in 2002. The Morgan Ranch scenes filmed at a property in Agoura Hills, California. The well a prop, the ranch a private property, the television Samara crawled through, existing only in the nightmares of everyone who watched it. Aliens Nostromo, Shepperton Studios, Surrey, England. Ridley Scott building the Nostromo interiors at Shepperton Studios in 1978, the facehugger, the chestburster, and the xenomorph stalking corridors built from salvaged aircraft parts and industrial scrap. Shepperton still operating as a major production facility, the Nostromo set scrapped decades ago. The corridor where John Hurt's chest exploded now, part of a soundstage used for different terrors. Midsummer Village, Horga, Helsingland, Sweden. Ari Aster building the entire Horga commune on an open field near the village of Horga in Helsingland province. Sweden in 2018, the May Queen, the Edda Stupa, and the Bear Suit all performed on a set that existed for one production. The field returned to its previous use, the flower-covered commune existing only in the film and in the nightmares of anyone who watched the ending. The Haunting of Hill House, LaGrange, Georgia. The Victorian mansion used in the 2018 Netflix series rented for filming, the owners reporting ongoing fan visits, the house appearing far less menacing in daylight without Flanagan's production lighting, a private residence that became a horror icon without changing anything about itself. Child's Play locations, various, Chicago, Illinois. Tom Holland filming The Good Guy Doll Factory and Andy's apartment across Chicago. Locations in 1988, Chucky terrorizing a city that has since rebuilt much of itself. The Brewster Apartments, where Andy and his mother lived, still standing and recognizable at 2800 North Pine Grove Avenue in Lincoln Park. An American Werewolf in London. Various locations, London, England. John Landis filming the transformation scene and Piccadilly Circus massacre across London in 1981. The Slaughtered Lamb Pub, a set built at Twickenham Studios. Piccadilly Circus, still Piccadilly Circus. The Yorkshire Moors, where the werewolf attacked unchanged because Moors do not care about werewolves. The Wicker Man locations, various, Scotland. Robin Hardy filming the 1973 folk horror masterpiece across multiple Scottish locations, including Plockton, Newton Stewart, and Kirkcudbright. Lord Summerisle's pagan community, spread across the Scottish landscape. The specific locations now tourism stops. The Wicker Man itself, a prop burn during filming. A full-scale replica erected in Kirkcudbright for the film's anniversary. Drag Me to Hell, various locations, Los Angeles, California. Sam Raimi filming The Button Curse and the Final Station platform across downtown Los Angeles in 2009. The parking structure and office locations, generic LA commercial properties. Paranormal Activity House, 13,236 Bavarian Drive, San Diego, California. Oren Pili filming the $15,000 found footage phenomenon in his own San Diego house in 2006. The bedroom and the hallway and the pool providing the setting for the film that grossed $193 million. The house was Peli's actual home, sold after the film's success. A private residence in a San Diego suburb, the Lost Boys Bridge, Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, Santa Cruz, California. Joel Schumacher filming The Vampire Gang hanging from the railroad trestle bridge near the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk in 1987. Kiefer Sutherland and his gang dropping into the fog below. The boardwalk still operating as a public amusement park. The trestle bridge still standing. The cave where the vampires lived is set. Hellraiser House, 187 Dollis Hill Lane, London, England. Clive Barker filming the Cotton family's terraced house in a quiet North London suburb in 1987. The Cenobites summoned from a puzzle box in a neighborhood that looks like every other street in Cricklewood. The house a private residence. No chains, no hooks, no indication that the lament configuration was ever opened inside. 28 days later, London, England. Danny Boyle filming Cillian Murphy walking through a deserted London at dawn in 2002, the crew given approximately 30 minutes by police to shoot on Westminster Bridge and at Piccadilly Circus before traffic was allowed back. London still London, the streets that were empty for one film shoot never empty again. The rage virus existing only in the franchise. Insidious House, 4285, West 135th Street, Hawthorne, California. James Wan filming the Lambert family's haunted house in a suburban Hawthorne neighborhood in 2010, the further existing on the other side of a front door that looks like every other door on the block. The house a private residence in a neighborhood where the scariest thing is the property tax. Creepshow locations, various, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. George Romero filming the Stephen King anthology across multiple Pittsburgh locations in 1982. The comic book wraparound segments and the 5 tales of terror, including the cockroach apartment shot at various city addresses. The Pittsburgh locations largely unchanged, the city that gave Romero Night, Dawn, Day, and Creepshow, never fully acknowledging that it is the birthplace of the American zombie film. The cabin in the woods, various locations, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Drew Goddard filming the meta-horror at various British Columbia locations in 2009, the cabin itself a set, the underground facility built at a studio, the entire film, a commentary on the horror locations audiences had been visiting for decades, the cabin that deconstructed every cabin in every horror film existing only long enough to make its point, the Babadook House, Adelaide, South Australia. Jennifer Kent filming the 2014 psychological horror in a real house in Adelaide's suburbs. The pop-up book and the top hat and the ba-ba-dook-duck-duck created in one of the quietest neighborhoods in one of the quietest cities in the world. The house a private residence. The Babadook becoming a queer icon in ways the filmmaker never anticipated.